Namaste, namaste, and welcome to this Wednesday morning yoga session. This week you will probably need the use of a block or something that gives you a little bit of height away from the floor, but just one, and a bolster or a rolled up blanket, something to give you something to recline over when we do a passive opening towards the end of the class. So without further ado, let us get sitting down and we'll do our centering practice before we start. So coming into any comfortable, it's always the way, small late arrival. I think we've had an internet connection issue at this end. So there we are. Super. Welcome, Andrea. For this practice, you will need something that gives you a little bit of height from the floor. A tin of beans would work just as well as a book or something like this, a block if you've got one, and a bolster or a rolled blanket, but that's not till the end, so don't worry about that. Come and join us sitting on the floor for our initial centering. So if you want to, of course, you can always sit on a sofa or a chair, you can kneel, and you can be any way that you choose. But when you come into your pose of choice, resting the arms wherever is comfortable, closing the eyes or gazing gently downward, and taking a moment to step into your yoga space, stepping away from whatever else has been going on in your day or your week or even this year. Create a little sanctuary away from all of that on your yoga mat. It will still be there at the end of the class, no doubt. Today is our first practice of official springtime. And so we are going to focus a little bit on what we might become. Spring is the season of becoming. We can sow the seeds of change or new habits or self-acceptance at this time of the year and watch them blossom and grow and become whatever we desire. So if you can think of perhaps just one thing, if not just one thing, a few things, something to sow in your heart today that you can watch, nurture, care for, tend, devote energy to help the becoming, the transformation. And then gently deepening your breath. On your next exhalation, drawing your abdominal muscles gently in to help expel a little bit more air from the lungs. And then breathing deeply into the sides of the body, the back, the chest. Breathing out a little bit more fully, using that gentle contraction across the abdominal muscles. Breathing into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. Breathing out more completely. Keep going, your breath in this rhythm. Filling yourself with prana, with energy, with light. And letting go of anything that you don't need right now for this practice. One more deep breath. Very good. And then very gently, you can bring your chin down towards your chest. Take a moment to observe the length down the back of the neck. Perhaps the sensation of stretch across the shoulders, between the shoulder blades. And when you're ready, you can roll your right ear towards your right shoulder, chin to chest, and left ear to left shoulder, chin to chest. Going side to side to begin with, just exploring how it feels down the sides of the neck, the back of the neck. Not pushing or forcing, simply experiencing the sensation, the feedback from the body. And if this movement doesn't suit you, then doing some movements that do better suit you. If you want to, you can lift the chin to make small circles with the head, not taking the head backwards, just making the circles nice and small. Going in both directions if you are doing circling. One more this way. Bringing your chin back to your chest and then bringing your head back to center. Relaxing the arms, just rolling the shoulders a little bit. So today our practice is going to be all about this sense of becoming we have in the body. And we need to balance the elements of fire and air according to Ayurveda for a springtime practice. Let's roll the other way as well. So we want to create heat, but we also want to cool that heat with a deeper, more expansive breath. We'll see how we get on. When you're ready, you can do one arm at a time, nice big circles, soft in the elbow, and maybe wakening up the side of the body. Allow your head to move with your movement if it feels natural to do so. You can go in both directions. And then we can do the other side as well. Little softness of the elbow. Beginning to move a little bit more into the torso. And all those sort of wriggles and spirals are exactly what we need to get rid of our stiffness. Let's go the opposite way as well. Allowing your head to move if it wants to, but relaxing in the jaw and the face. And when you're ready, coming back to the center, we're going to let our legs be a little bit longer, but with the knees bent, and make nice circles with the ankles, which will roll the knees together and apart. Now, at the same time, you can hold your upper body very still, or you can allow your upper body to move with this movement. It doesn't matter what you choose, do whatever feels most natural to you. If you're moving in your upper body, you might need a little bit of abdominal control. Let's go the opposite way as well. Very good. Excuse me, I seem to have found a knobble on my buttock that's giving a bit of a feedback thump there. Okay, and then we're going to take our legs a little bit wider. They don't have to be really wide and they don't have to be straight either, so soften your knees if you need to. And we're just going to begin with a little shimmer from side to side. So we're bobbing a little from side to side. If you want to, you can encourage a forward bend over your legs, but you don't have to. You can simply sway from side to side if that feels good. You can lift the buttock that you're moving away from as well. There's no need to keep it anchored to the floor. And then as this movement becomes a little bit more maybe a little softer in the body, perhaps you've got space to move a little bit further forward over the legs. Again, you don't have to if you don't want to. So we're warming up warming up. And by making these movements, we warm up gently, paying attention to how the body feels, accepting the feedback that we receive and the resistance. We don't want to press through, we just want to meet it and move away from it. And then coming back to the center, we're going to bring our feet together, soles of the feet together, and then just do a little bit of rocking from side to side. It's okay to get the clunking. Coming back to the center, lifting the chest and folding a little bit forward again, shimmering the upper body from side to side, or swaying the upper body from side to side. I'm not sure that shimmering is possible with the upper body. And then when you're ready, just resting in the middle for a moment, and then taking the hands perhaps towards the feet to help you up a little bit. We're going to draw the knees towards each other. I'm just turning on my mat so I can release myself down to the floor. And that's what we're going to do. Just really reaching the arms out in front of you, rolling all the way down onto your back. And taking the arms apart. The feet are quite nice and wide as well. And we're coming down here because this is one of the easiest places for us to limber the hips and the spine without putting any big effort into the body. So here, allowing the feet to be wide and then swaying the knees from one side to the other. So the knees are a little bit here like windscreen wipers. One goes out to the side, one goes forward really, away from the body. And we want that. We want the pelvis to operate a little bit differently on both sides as we lubricate the joints in the pelvis, nurture them with this movement. Then you can allow your movement to become a little bigger when there's space available to do that. So if there isn't, then that's okay, don't worry about it, just stick with what you're doing right now. And the next time your knees rather come down on your right side, allow them to stay wherever they get to. As long as it feels comfortable in the hips. If you feel that your knees are hanging in midair and you want them to rest on something, place some cushions underneath. We're going to reach our left hand over to our right hand. So we're going to roll the upper body as well. So we end up with the hands stacked one on top of the other, looking towards the right fingers, right side of the head on the floor. And then draw the left fingers up over the head as you roll the left side of the back towards the mat. The left arm keeps going in a circle all the way around the body until it comes back to the right palm, rolling and doing another one. Super. We're going to do one more as well. So big sweeping circle with the left fingertips all the way around the body. And when you come back to lying in your spinal twist with your arms out to either side, then firming the belly muscles, bringing the knees back to the center, doing a little sway from the side to side before allowing the knees to come all the way down on the left side of the body, reaching the right hand over to the left. So you roll the right side of the back off the floor and then fingertips on the floor all the way around the body. So the back comes back to the mat, the head maybe more neutrally looking up, and the right hand carries on, drawing the circle all the way over the right hip to the left hand, and then up and over the body. And one more time. And this time, when you end up with your right hand out at the right, the upper back more neutral, firming the belly, bringing the knees back to the center. We're going to keep the feet quite wide apart, wider than your body, and toes can point out if that feels good to you, elbows down by your side, pressing the upper arms, the shoulders, the heels down, and then peeling your hips up to wherever feels comfortable and gently releasing down. Let's do a few of these dynamic bridge poses. Pressing down with the upper body and the heels, firm the buttocks to lift the hips, and a gentle pressure down with the back of the head. much more gentle than with the other parts of the body, just to activate the muscles at the back of the neck as we move up and down. We're going to do one more like this, and then we're going to hula hoop our hips while we're at it. So bringing the hips up and making nice big hula hooping actions. I love doing this, it's so nice across the hips. We go in one direction and then the other as well. Remember, you can press into your feet alternately, activate the buttocks alternately, but keep the shoulders very active throughout. And coming back to the center before rolling all the way down. When you come all the way down, bending the knees in towards the chest, hold the back of the knees and just gently sway the knees from side to side. The legs don't have to be particularly bent, and again, they don't have to be particularly straight. And then see if you can keep this movement going, but without holding the knees. So a little resting of the arms to the sides, maybe circling the knees now. Feet are quite far apart. Feel that massage of the low back on the floor. We'll go the opposite way as well. Very good. And then we're going to catch hold of the knees again and bring our head towards our chest, chin to chest, to rock backwards and forwards through the length of the spine. We want to build up a little bit of momentum here. So when you're ready, you can start to catch yourself on your sit bones for a moment before rolling back towards the shoulder blades, back to the sit bones, to the shoulder blades, massaging the whole of the spine. And when you're ready, you can build up enough momentum to roll up into standing. And if not, that's okay. Then simply roll to one side and come up, or roll to sitting and then stand up. There's no need to bounce off the floor first thing in the practice. Okie dokie. Sorry, hair just whatnotted. So now we're up standing. We're going to do a little bit more of posture work to open the chest and create this expansion across the heart, where the seed that we've sown for transformation and becoming is. And then we will take this into a dynamic sequence of postures for spring. Fantastic stuff. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is a little chair pose. So the feet are about hip distance apart, could be slightly wider if you wanted. And we're going to bend the knees so that the weight is in our heels and the torso is nice and upright, feet flat on the floor. We're going to bring the hands together in front of the body with the palms together here. And we're going to do like a standing variation of the cat pose. So as you inhale, you're going to draw your elbows apart behind the body, open your chest, and then reach the hands, palms facing towards each other. And as you exhale, still in chair pose, you're going to round through the spine, draw the palms together, drop the chin to the chest, scoop the belly in. Inhaling, drawing the chest up, elbows back, reaching the hands behind you, palms facing towards each other if you can. And exhaling, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, palms come together. A little tuck under with the belly as well. Inhaling up, opening the chest, reaching the arms back. Exhaling, reaching the fingertips away from you, chin towards the chest. Let's do two more. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Very good. Let's just inhale to stand tall. Relax the shoulders if they need a little bit of a relax. And we're going to put that together with a lunging pose. So it's wherever is comfortable on your mat, but with the length of your mat behind you. We're going to breathe in, take the arms up and look up. And as you breathe out, fold forward from your hips, scoop your belly in, arms wide, soften the knees whenever you need to come down into your forward bend. In the forward bend, because it's our first forward bend of the day, we're just going to paddle through the backs of the legs. So just like you do in downward facing dog, let the crown of your head come towards the floor if it's possible, and just gently turn the head from side to side. In forward bends, the secret yoga tip is if you scoop your belly muscles in, you'll find more length in the back of your body. Makes the forward bending poses easier. Okay, and then in your center, stepping back with your right foot as far as it naturally goes, taking the knee to the floor, and then pressing the feet away from each other to come up into an upright position for your lunging. Excellent. So we're going to do the same thing with our arms that we did in chair pose, but we're going to do it here in our lunge as well. So starting with your hands out in front of you, as you inhale, draw the elbows back, you drop the hips forward and reach the chest up as you turn the palms up towards the ceiling this time. And as you exhale, press through the front leg, rounding the spine, straightening the front leg, chin to chest, palms together in front of the body. Inhaling, drawing the elbows back, opening the chest, turning the palms up, and exhaling, pressing through the front foot, firm in the buttocks and the belly, rounding the spine, palms together. Inhaling, firm in the back buttock, and exhaling, firmer in the front leg. Two more, inhaling, and exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. And then we'll simply finish by coming back to a neutral position. And here we've got two options. So we haven't got two options. We're going to do gate pose. So we're going to spin on our knees so that the left leg, I have to swap because I've now got the legs the wrong way around. So the left leg is extended to the left and the right knee is bent underneath the right hip. If you need something under your knees to give them a little sense of protection, then please just cushion them with a folded blanket or fold your mat under twice. I like to keep my back heel active, so my toes tucked under. I feel it's stronger for the leg that we're balancing on, but if you prefer to have your toes tucked flat, that's okay. The leg that's out to the side doesn't need to be absolutely straight if it's really toughy on your hamstrings. But again, try this with the toes pointed out if it doesn't work with the toes pointed forwards. So just find whichever is better for your hips. Want to try, if we can, to keep the right hip over the right knee. And we're going to take our arms out wide for a bit of gate pose. So first, draw your shoulder blades towards each other, firm the buttocks, firm the belly. As you inhale, reach the left hand down towards the left leg, reach the right hand up and over. And we're going to come back to the center, exhaling here, inhaling into our pose, and exhaling as we return. We're just doing 3. Inhaling, and exhaling. Very good. Now we're going to add another element to it. So this time, as we come out, we're going to reach the right hand across the body and reach the left hand in the opposite direction. And here we need to really think about reaching the left fingertips away from the left outside edge of the foot, and at the same time firming the buttocks and firming the belly. So from our neutral position, I can see you're all trying it, but it's very good. From our neutral position, let's inhale here. Exhale as we move into our side bend, firm in the belly. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, sweep the left hand to the right and the right hand to the left. Inhale back to the center, arms wide, exhaling over to gate pose. Good job. Inhaling back to the center, firm belly, firm buttocks, exhaling over to the right. Inhaling back to center, exhaling into our gate pose to the left. Inhaling back to center and exhaling to the right. Here we're going to hold, and anyone who wants to can put their hand down either on their block if they want to, or onto the floor. for a full Stargazer pose. So for full Stargazer pose, drawing the shoulder blades together, turning the head up towards the ceiling, lengthening the left fingertips away from the left foot and pressing underneath the right side of the body to lift. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Turn your top palm, inhaling back to center. And as you exhale, soften your left knee and then draw underneath the body. We're going to kneel all the way down and relax here. So toes tucked flat. If you want to, you can come all the way into a forward bending child's pose for a couple of deep breaths. And that's a really nice way to relax after all of that expansion. So wherever you are resting, a couple of deep breaths. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back up into standing. So from this kneeling pose, tucking the toes under, coming onto your toes if you can in the nice little squat here, and then pressing through the legs to stand tall. Popping up. Yes, excellent stuff. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again, but here on the other side. And so we will start from our forward bend. I'm going to start at the other end of the mat because it kind of makes sense. Okay, so starting with our deep breath, so firm in the buttocks and lifting tall, breathing in, taking the arms up, opening the chest, and as you breathe out, folding forward from the hips, hinging on the way down into your forward bend. In the forward bend, let's just take a moment to paddle the legs a little bit. That really helps to create a little awakening of the hamstrings, but also a little space in the body. Scoop the belly in, and if you want to, you can turn your head gently from side to side. When you're ready, you can step back with your left foot as far as it goes, taking the knee to the mat. Press the feet away from each other to bring yourself into this upright position. And we'll do our sweeping arms again. So reaching in front of you, bringing the palms towards each other. As you inhale, draw the elbows back, drop the hips forward, turn the palms up as you extend the arms behind you. And as you exhale, press through the front foot, rounding through the spine, lengthening the front leg. Inhaling forward, firm in the belly and the buttocks, exhaling back. We're doing 3 more. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Last one. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Lovely stuff. And then just gently coming to a neutral position again. And we're going to spin on our knees. I'm going to have to swap sides to come into our special pose for gate. Okay, so here the left hip is over the left knee. We're trying to keep it stable there because that's the most supportive position for the hip. If it's slightly out or slightly in, it means that the joint isn't as well supported as if it's directly over. With your right foot, toes can point forwards or they can point out to the side if that makes better sense for you. And I like to keep my back toe tucked under. Let's take the arms wide. Let's do first 3 gate poses. So inhaling into gate pose, reaching the right hand down and the left hand up. Exhaling back to center, firm belly, firm buttocks. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling back to center. Excellent. So let's try what we're doing next. So the next thing we're going to do is reach the right hand away from the right hand to the left side of the body and the left hand across the belly to come into a sort of modified Stargazer. So we're going to start from the center. We'll inhale wide, firm belly, firm buttocks. Exhale into gate pose. Left, right hand down. Inhale back to the center, and then exhale into extended Stargazer, let's call it. Inhaling back to the center, exhaling into gate. Inhaling to center, firm belly, firm buttocks. Exhaling, Stargazer. Inhaling to center, exhaling gate. Inhaling to center and exhaling Stargazer. And here, you can stay here, particularly if you don't want to put any weight into your hands, but if you don't mind putting weight into the hands, left hand comes down. You can turn the chest upwards, look upwards, reach the right fingers even further away from the right foot, and take a couple of deep breaths in Stargazer pose. Really think about lifting underneath the left side of the body as well, pressing into the left foot, the left shin if the top of the foot's down. To come out, turn the right hand up, press off the bottom hand, come up to standing rather, and then a little softness in your right knee, bounce off the right knee, bring the right knee in, and kneel to begin with. If it feels comfortable, you can come all the way forward into child's pose for a couple of deep breaths here. And take the rest, because the idea in this class is to build heat with our movements, cleanse with our breath, and move from there. We'll see how it goes. Okay. After your next deep breath out, just checking your face is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed, coming up to kneeling again, and we'll come up to standing. So tucking the toes under, coming onto the balls of the feet. If you can this time, bringing your hands to Namaste, and then pressing up onto your tiptoes, exhaling your heels down, arms down to the side. If you don't want to come up that way, it's okay. Just come up the way that suits you best. Okie dokie. Super stuff. Okay, so we're going to do a different way of opening the body of the chest, and then we're going to put it again together with our lunges and do a different lunging set of limberings. So this time we're going to bring ourselves again into that little chair pose, feet a comfortable distance apart, dropping the buttocks towards the heels, keeping, you don't want to keep the tailbone tucked under too much, but keeping the weight centered into the heels. We're going to reach the arms up and imagine you're holding onto a pull-up bar. So you're going to inhale, lengthen the legs, open the chest, and draw the elbows down behind the body. And then exhale, reaching the arms back up again and coming into your chair pose. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, open the chest, lift the chin. Exhaling, coming back to neutral, maybe dropping the chin slightly. Inhaling and exhaling. This time, we're going to do a little something different. So we're going to inhale first, opening the chest, and then exhale, but without bending the knees, reaching the arms up. Catch hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Inhale into a side bend, standing with straight legs, and exhaling back to center. Inhaling, drawing the elbows down, lengthening the legs. Exhaling back to the center. I've got my knees bent. Hold the opposite wrist. Inhaling to the opposite side and exhaling back to the center. One more time to each side. Inhaling, open the chest. Exhaling back to the center. Right hand holds left wrist. Inhaling, bend to the right. And exhale back to the center. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale back to the center. Inhale, left hand, right wrist, bend to the left. Exhale back to the center. And then we're just going to allow the arms to float down to the side. Give the shoulders a little bit of a wriggle. And it's really important to let go of the tension there. We don't want to carry the effort from this part of the practice into the next part of the practice. So, coming to the front of your mat, and now we've got our feet underneath our hips. We're going to do another chair pose. We're going to hold it for a little bit longer. So if chair pose is challenging, if you're keeping your arms all the way up for the whole time, just bring the hands down to the center of the chest with the palms together. Perfectly acceptable. So from here, we're going to breathe in as we sweep the arms up and forward. Breathe out, bend the knees, perhaps a little deeper than before. We're going to hold for a few deep breaths here. And if you want to, you can wriggle your hips backwards and forwards to find your neutral spine, if you don't find it easily otherwise. And then you can sink a little deeper if you want to. You can bring your head into a more neutral position, scoop the belly in, press the heels and the balls of the feet into the floor. Maybe have the impression of trying to keep the knees apart rather than together. And then after your next exhalation, we're going to lift again as we inhale up onto the tiptoes, and as you exhale, fold forward from the hips, but we're going to stop halfway down, reach the arms behind you, turn the palms upwards, and hold here, breathing with your spine parallel to the floor, or in that general direction, on your tiptoes. And then when you're ready, very gently relaxing all the way into your forward bend. Soften the knees, give yourself a little bit of a shimmer from side to side. Perhaps, I've got to stop saying shimmer, I do mean a sway. And then from here, we're going to step the right foot back as far as it naturally goes. Right foot to the floor, right knee to the floor, press the feet away from each other to come up into our upright lunge. Fantastic stuff. So now we're going to do our pull up opener and a side bend here. So when we do this, we're going to first open the chest, and when we reach up, we catch hold of the right wrist with the left hand and we bend to the left. Okay, so we're opening this side of the body, this right side of the body. So let's start with the arms over the head. Catch hold of your imaginary pull-up bar. Inhaling as you draw the elbows back, bend the front knee deeper, open the chest. Exhaling back to the center, catch hold of the right wrist. Inhaling into a side bend to the left and exhaling back to the center. Let's do two more. Inhaling, pulling the bar, elbows back. Exhaling to center. Inhaling, catching hold of that wrist over to the left and exhaling back to center. Inhaling, open, dropping the hips a bit further forward. Exhaling to center. Inhaling, opening the chest. Side bend, exhaling to center. Relax the arms down to the side. Relax the shoulders a little bit. Very good. So while we're here, we can do something called an extended camel pose, and it's a really, really beautiful one to do. And for this, we take our right hand towards the right heel behind us, lengthen the front leg, which might mean moving that leg away from you, and reach the left arm over. So if this doesn't work for you, so if that doesn't feel like a good posture, maybe just releasing out of it, guys. You can take your right hand to the lower back and stretch your left leg forward and simply reach up with the left arm as you press the hips forward, opening the chest, drawing the right elbow behind you. Let's try this one first. Fantastic stuff. So right hand to right lower back. The idea will be to help the hips to come forward, but to prevent too much bending in the low back. Slide your left leg forward a little so that you can lengthen it to straight if you want to. The heel can be on the floor with the toes off if you prefer. And we're going to reach the left arm up and back behind if we can. Draw the right elbow behind the body, press the hips forward, take a deep breath in And a deep breath out. Then if you want to, you can reach for your right heel with your right hand, keeping the hips forward. Deep breath in, deep breath out. To come out, lead with the left hand to bring you up to standing or upright again. And we're going to gently bend forward, bring our knees towards each other and settle into the pose of a child here. Long, deep breaths. Relax the effort of the face, the shoulders, the throat, the buttocks, the space between the shoulder blades, and the belly muscles. And then whenever you're ready, coming up into kneeling again. Smashing stuff. So from here, well done guys, well done. From here we're going to come into Warrior Two, and I don't have a fancy transition for this. You're just going to come up into your standing pose and have the block or whatever you're ready with on the left hand side of your body. So we've been doing everything with the right leg behind us. So as we step our feet wide, that right leg will be the leg that stays as the long leg. I'm going to turn the left toes to point towards the left and keep the hips. We don't need to do anything special with the hips, but not aiming. In general, the hips will fall somewhere towards the long end of the mat. Ignore everything else I just said. So if you can, place your block just a little bit ahead of your left foot. And that will be in exactly the right place to reach for when we come into Warrior Three. Okay, so we're going to try it this way, and I'm going to show you. It's not Warrior Three, sorry, it's the half moon pose. Baddha Chandrasana is what it's called. So we're going to try it this way, and then we'll see how we go with it, doing it possibly a different way as well. So take your arms out wide, draw your shoulder blades towards each other. We're going to turn to look at the middle finger of the left hand, and we're going to bend the left knee. Press into the right outside edge of the foot as well at the same time. And imagine, some people feel stronger if they imagine pressing their feet apart, and some people feel stronger imagining they're bringing their feet towards each other. So play with that for a few moments and see which feels better to you. We're going to do open warrior, so dropping the right hand to the right leg and opening the left arm to look up, and going the opposite way, sweeping the left hand across the belly, reaching the right hand over, dropping the hips a little bit if you need to. Let's do an inhale as we come into open warrior, and an exhale as we come into extended side angle pose. One more time, inhaling, firm belly, firm buttocks, firm feet. Exhaling into extended side angle pose. Now from here, we're going to reach the left hand towards the block, stepping the right foot a little bit in towards us, lengthening the left leg, and taking the right foot off the floor, and at the same time, keeping the right arm up as well. Now it's mostly done by balancing on the leg. So you don't have to put very much weight into your left hand. Firm belly, firm buttocks, press the right heel away from you, right palm facing to the right, and then use a point of focus either ahead of you or on the floor perhaps, to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then we're going to bend that left leg, place the right foot down, come back to Warrior Two. Lengthen both legs, turn in your left foot, and relax your arms down to the ground, down to the side, down to the ground, down to the side. It's all good. Okay, give your hips a little bit of a wiggle, and then when you're ready, you can jump your feet together. Well done, guys. Okay, so we'll have our blocks ready at the opposite side of our mats, and we'll be able to do the whole thing on the other side. So let's start with that held chair pose and then the forward bend that we hold just at that parallel point. So coming to the front of your mat, taking your arms out wide, breathing in, reaching the arms forward and breathing out as you settle your hips down into chair pose. Perhaps going a little deeper than before. You can try wriggling the hips backwards and forwards if that feels comfortable until you find your neutral spot. Maybe sinking a little lower still, dropping the hands to the center of the chest if you would like to. Let's take a couple of deep breaths here. Use Ujjayi if you're familiar with it. And then gently coming up, we're going to come up onto our tiptoes and fold forward from the hips. As we do, allow the arms to swing underneath the body, turning the palms upwards, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Keep your head in a neutral position, up on tiptoes, spine parallel-ish to the floor. And when you're ready, folding into your forward bend. And in your forward bend, you can give yourself a little bit of a sway from side to side, maybe paddle through the backs of the legs a little as well. And then here we're going to step the left foot back as far as it naturally goes, take the knee to the mat, press the feet apart from each other and come up into our upright lunging position. We're doing pull-ups and side bends. And this time when we do the side bend, we're going to catch hold of the left wrist with the right hand and lean over to the right, okay? So let's reach the arms out. Imagine we've got our pull-up bar. And as we breathe in, draw the elbows back, the hips come forward, open the chest, firm belly, firm buttocks. Breathing out back to the center, press the feet away from each other. Catch hold of the left wrist with the right hand, breathe in as you bend to the right and breathe out back to the center. Pulling up, breathing in, opening the chest, elbows back, breathing out back to center, press with the feet, breathing in over to the right side as you side bend, breathing out back to center. One more time, breathing in, opening the chest, breathing out back to neutral. Breathing in, bending to the right. Breathing out, back to neutral. Lovely stuff. Relax the arms down to the sides. Whew. I find all of that chest opening stuff really, it gets my heart going and it gets my breath going as well. I'm not a natural heart opener person, so this has been quite challenging practice. So let's do those extended camel poses now. We're going to take the left hand even to the back of the body, just above the buttocks. Maybe inch the right leg forward a little bit so it's straighter. We're going to reach the right arm up. And then reaching that right hand back behind us, press the hips forward, draw the left elbow behind the body, and then come back to center. Okay, let's try that one more time. Okay, so we're using the legs really quite firmly, opening the chest as we reach the right hand behind us, draw the left elbow in, opening the chest. And if you want to here, and I don't think I do want to here on this side, you can reach for the back heel. I'm tucking my heel a bit under a bit and bending the front leg, which I prefer on this side. Opening the chest for a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then gently coming back upright. Whew. Let's take a moment to come into our child's pose from here. So both knees underneath the body, sinking back into the heels, forward bending into child's pose. You can stay upright and kneel for a few deep breaths if you prefer, which is what I'm going to do. So softening the features of the face, the tongue, the shoulders, softening the abdominal effort and the buttocks and that space between the shoulder blades as well. Deep breath in. Long, slow breath out. One more deep breath in. Sigh out through your mouth if you would like to. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so no fancy way really to come into Warrior Two pose, but you can rock onto your the balls of your feet and bring your hands to Namaste and come up to standing and join me facing onto the long side of your mat. Fantastic stuff. You will really have earned your relaxation today, that is for sure. So let us step the feet nice and wide. And this time we're turning the right toes to the right. And the left leg is going to be our long leg. So find your hips wherever is comfortable. Make sure that your block's just ahead of your right foot. And then we're going to bring the arms out to the sides, draw the shoulder blades towards each other to really open the chest still and bend the right knee. At the same time, we press into the heel and the outside edge of the left foot. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so let us do our reverse warriors and extended side angle poses here. So firm belly, firm buttocks. Inhale as you lift the right arm up, let the left hand come down the left leg, and then exhale, sweep the arms wide and across the body, leaning over to the right. Inhaling, open warrior. Exhaling, extended side angle pose. Legs stay the same, reaching the left hand away from the left foot. Inhaling one more time. And exhaling, extended side angle pose. Very good. From here, we're just going to bump our back foot in a little bit, reach the right hand down to the block, and then lift the left leg up, extend through the heel, turn the left palm to face towards the long side of the mat, draw the shoulder blades towards each other. The standing leg doesn't have to be straight. And if you can, find a point of focus that's ahead of you. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. Oh, it's very wobbly on this side. And when you're ready, coming back into Warrior Two. Well done, guys. We're going to lengthen both legs, turn in the right toes, drop the hands to the sides. And here we're going to do a forward bend, but in this position. Whew. Well done, guys. Okay, so opening the arms wide, and as you exhale, folding forward into your forward bend, reaching for the floor, or you can use your block if you want to. A little bit of bending one knee and then the other, shifting the weight from side to side. We call these surfer squats. Very good. And then when you're ready, you can come back to the center and reach the hands between the feet if it's comfortable, or you can even reach them behind the body, through the feet. Wherever you are, you can keep the knees soft a little if you need to, drawing the belly muscles inwards to give you a little bit more forward bend length. Take the crown of the head towards the floor and gently sway the nose from side to side. Make sure your weight isn't all in your heels. If it's all in your heels, you'll hyperextend through the backs of the knees, and it's a little bit cheating. Let's say it's a little bit cheating. Lovely job. Then when you're ready, you can bring your hands forward, lift your chest a little, and we're just going to jump the feet together. So we're in a little crouching position over our toes. Lovely job. And from here, finding your way onto your bottom. That's it. So we've done a nice forward bend, but we're going to counter some of our, I'm wondering if we've got time for just one more camel variation, actually. I think we do. So let's do that. Yes, let's do that. Okay, so excuse me, we're going to come onto our knees. I apologize, it's because I was messing with the class before we started. There we are. Okay, so for this, I think we'll probably do the left side first. We're going to keep the right toes tucked under and take the left knee out to the left. So it's a little bit like a combination of camel pose and extended side angle pose. So with our Left knee out towards the left, toes pointing in the left direction. Right toes underneath, hands on hips. We're just going to gently do an openness, a little bit like the surface squat that we've just done, coming in and out of this extended, opening, expansive pose with the hips. Lovely job. And then coming back to center. And then we did a figure of 8 arms with this posture a few weeks ago. In fact, it was towards the beginning of, towards the end of January, but it's all good. So I will demonstrate what we're going to do. So the first thing we do is we take the left arm down onto the left leg and reach the right arm across the body, opening the chest. Now, as the right arm comes back, we reach behind the body for the right foot, and the left arm comes across the body because we've freed it from the left leg. So we're going to do 3 to 5 of these, depending on what feels good for your body, okay? And you don't have to do the whole camel. You can simply do a little variation of this in the center if that feels good to you, or you can simply extend yourself one way and extend yourself the opposite way without using the arms at all. So find what feels good to you. All of the time we want to keep firm belly, firm buttocks, firm legs as well. Okay, so let us begin with the arms wide. We'll take the left arm onto the left leg, sweep the right arm over, open the chest, free that left arm as you reach back with the right arm, and make a big sweeping circle with the left as well. Let's do at least 2 more if you can. Firm belly, firm buttocks, figure of 8 your arms. If you're not sure, that's okay. Do something that feels good to you. 2 more if you can. Really focus on the strength of the back of the body, the sides of the body. And then coming up to center when you're ready, bringing in your left knee, and we want to settle ourselves down here. Now, I personally, if I was doing my own practice, I might counterpose here with a twist, but because we're going to do that afterwards, then we're not going to do that now. But if you were adding this posture to a short practice, you need to prepare the body really, really well first for such a dynamic posture that requires lots of strength. But B, if you're going to counterpose straight away, make sure that you're doing the other side as well. Good job. Okay, coming up onto the knees, tucking the left toes under, right foot out to the right. And so the hips are as open as feels good to you. If you've got perfect turnout from having done years of dance or something like this, then your right knee will be all the way to the right and the hips will be as open as they can be. It's okay to have the knee slightly in front. It's not going to make any, it's wherever your hips lie. That's the important thing. Okay, so arms out, and we'll do the same thing on the other side, same number on the other side. Taking the right forearm down to the right thigh, reaching the left arm over. As the left hand comes behind you, the right arm is freed from the leg. We reach for the left heel and reach the right arm around. Figure of 8. Firm belly, firm buttocks. Let your head move. Let your torso move. Let your breath move. 2 more if you can. Feel the firmness, the support underneath the back of the body, the sides of the body. And when you've done 5, or up to 5, bringing the knees together, sitting back onto the heels again. And you'll be pleased to know that that's the very last thing we're doing on our knees. So here, we can bring our feet out in front of us. So we didn't have time today for the other variation of a standing balance that we were going to do, but that's totally my bad for time planning. And so here we're just gently going to move into our spinal twists. So taking the left knee, bending it in, and taking the left foot over the right thigh. Here you can keep your right leg extended, or if you know that spinal twisting suits you, you can fold that leg underneath the body, but the heel doesn't come underneath the hips. Okay? Sitting tall, wrapping the right arm around the left thigh and drawing it towards you, either with the hand, the wrist, the forearm, or the elbow, whichever is it you have space for. Firm your belly muscles and move the belly, and particularly if you have a chest, moving your chest out of the way so that you end up turning to the left just a little before you've even started. Inhale the left arm up, look up, place that hand down behind you, press into the fingers so you prop yourself a little bit forward, and then lifting as you inhale. Exhale, using the leverage of your arms to move into your twist, turning the head to look over the left shoulder. Shoulders relax down, belly muscles working. Right leg relaxed unless it's bent underneath you. And 3 deep breaths here. To release, turn to the front with only your head. Release your hands, unwind your spine, turn a little to the opposite side, and back to center. Very good job. Okay, we're going to uncross the leg, let the left knee come out to the left side so that we end up with the right leg long, the left leg bent for Janu Shirshasana, which is a seated forward bend. So we're going to take the hands wide, roll the shoulder blades together to open the chest, and then gently fold forward from the hips. Don't come any further than is natural to come. Try to avoid lifting the shoulders or rounding the upper back, dropping the chin towards the floor. Keep the chest open. If you want to, you can move your hands in front and you can gently sway from side to side. In the past, you may have been encouraged to take the left side of the chest and aim it towards the right ankle. And I want you to ignore that instruction if you've had it in the past, because this creates a shearing force across the low back, which is not very helpful. Super. If you feel comfortable, you might fold a little deeper. You don't have to, there's no obligation, but we're going to stay here for one more deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then pad the hands back towards you. And gather your left knee in. Make sure the knee is upright before sliding the heel away. Paddle through the backs of the legs. Fantastic stuff. Doing the same thing to the other side. We're going to bend the right knee in. Take the right foot across the left leg. Sit really tall. Take the arms wide and then wrap the left arm, hand, wrist, forearm or elbow around the right leg, and draw it in towards you. Make sure that you lift your tummy and your chest out of the way. Breathe in, taking the right hand up, looking up, and breathe out as you place that hand down behind you. Prop yourself slightly forward as opposed to leaning backwards. Breathe in once more to lift. And as you breathe out, use the leverage of both arms to move yourself into your twist. We're not aiming to press further than the body's ready to go. We're just using that little bit of extra help from the arms. Wherever you get to, soften the shoulders down. Turn your head a little further to the right if it feels right for your neck to do so. Relax your left leg if it's long and straight. And take 3 deep breaths. Relax your jaw and your face as well. And then when you're ready to release out, turn to the front with only your head. Release your hands, unwind your spine, turning a little to the opposite side and back to the center. Uncross the legs. Allow the right knee to come out to the right, the sole of the right foot to be towards the left inner thigh. And then taking the hands back behind the body, breathe in as you roll your shoulder blades together to open your chest, and breathe out as you fold forward. Here, we're not aiming to go further than the body naturally goes, which is not far for most of us. If you want to, you can bring your hands in front and do a little shimmer from side to side. You can leave them out to the side if that's more helpful. Try to avoid hunching in the upper back. So keeping the shoulder blades working towards each other, lengthening the back of the neck, not drawing the chin towards the knee or the floor. Scooping the belly in a little bit helps here as well, gives you that little bit more space. And perhaps you can find a little bit more space, and perhaps you want to fold a little deeper for just one more long deep breath in and out. Relaxing the face and gently patting the hands back towards the body to bring you upright. You can scoop your right knee in and lengthen the right leg away from you. Super stuff. So at the beginning of class, I said that we would be using a bolster or a rolled up blanket for some support for passive opening of the chest. And we will, but we're also going to use this support for a supported shoulder stand variation at the end. So if you're using a bolster, you need to shake the filling all the way down to one end and have it along the length of your mat so that the fuller end will be underneath your head and the thinner end will be underneath your back. If you are using a rolled up blanket, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about a fuller or a less full end, because your rolled up blanket will not be as bulky or as full as a bolster. So it doesn't matter which. If you sometimes feel very tight in the front of the chest and you find the opening of the chest quite difficult or more challenging, you can place some support underneath the head end of your rolled blanket or bolster here. And if you have neither of these, but you've got a couple of blocks, you can do the supported fish variation on a couple of blocks, which we've done in the last few classes. Okay, guys. So bring yourself to sitting in front of your rolled support and then very gently relaxing down. So you can have your feet on the floor. You don't need to be in crossed legs. So feet on the floor, relaxing over your support so that you feel the whole of the spine is supported, even underneath the head. So if you need an extra cushion or a block at the end of your support, if it's not long enough, then you can use that too. Arms will relax out to the sides, and it's the most natural thing for the shoulders to fall open, the sides of the body to drape around your support to find their way towards the floor, the arms to be supported here. And it really opens the space in the chest we've been working with the last few weeks. If you want to, you can slide the legs long, but if that feels a bit too intense on the low back, bring the knees back in, put the feet on the floor. If it feels super comfortable with the legs long and the chest open, you can bring the soles of the feet towards each other and take Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose with your legs. If your knees are floating away from the floor and you need a bit of extra support underneath the knees, then a couple of cushions here can help. But otherwise, simply having the legs long is also a nice option. Whatever position you've chosen, and you don't have to be doing this, so if you don't have any support of any kind, a simple Shavasana will be enough. simple relaxation pose. Whatever pose you're in, we're going to do this as a yin posture. So for a yin posture, we want softness in the body, relaxing all of the effort, all of the patterns of holding, all of the tension. We want stillness in the body. So avoid fidgeting. Close your eyes if it helps you. And we want to sustain the posture. We want to hold it in that soft stillness for an extended period of time. We're going to call it 10 deep breaths. So don't worry about counting, I'll keep count. Just breathe in deeply. Feel the opportunity to breathe more fully as you've extended the space, particularly underneath the ribcage and at the sides of the body. Check your face for tension, softening the forehead, the jaw, the area around the eyes, if you find tension there. And as you release tension from your face, you will find it easing from other parts of the body, like the front of the shoulders, the palms of the hands, the front of the pelvis. And then at the end of your next exhalation, if your knees are wide, use your arms to gently help the knees towards each other. If your legs are long, bending your knees in towards you so that your feet are on the floor. And we're gently going to roll to one side. It doesn't matter which way you go, but rolling to one side, easing that support out from underneath you, and then rolling onto your back again. And allow your back to take this neutral shape against the floor for a few moments here. If you need to, you can gently roll your head from one side to the other. That's quite a nice way to relax and release any tension from the back of the neck. Then when you're ready, either the block support that you used earlier, or your bolster, or a wall if you prefer, we're going to place that support underneath the hips and raise the legs up towards the ceiling. So this is a shoulder stand variation, which you can easily do just lying against, lying on the floor with your legs up the wall if you prefer. But if you want to, you just have the bolster or block underneath the body. Even your rolled blanket will do. The feet can be apart or together as you choose. Try to avoid letting the feet be overly flexed and overly extending through the backs of the legs. We want the legs to be nice and relaxed. so that we feel the benefits of the venous return being rested, the blood coming back down towards the body. And just taking a moment here, if it becomes very hard work to have the legs extended, you can bend the knees a little bit, and that drops the weight of the legs more into the center of the body, and it softens the effort in the pelvis a little bit. And we're going to take another couple of deep breaths in whatever position you feel most comfortable. If you have your legs up the wall and you want to remain there for relaxation, you can do. We just take the support out from underneath the back of the body. And then in your own time, you can bend your knees in towards you. So if you want to stay legs up the wall, simply remove your support. If you want to take your feet to the floor and remove your support from underneath the body and come back into your neutral space, now is the time to gather your blankets and anything else you might need to make yourself warm for relaxation. I think even I'm going to have something on today. So warm socks are good here, and a scarf I always find useful personally after practicing yoga, particularly if you've done the teaching bit of it. A nice warm jumper, a blanket, and you can use your bolster underneath the backs of the legs or your rolled blanket. If you've got 2 blankets, which is the ideal number of blankets in yoga. If you've got 2 blankets, you can have one rolled up underneath the backs of the legs if you don't have a bolster, and you can have one over the body. Or if you're up the wall, legs up the wall, you can still use a blanket. Or if you're using a bolster underneath the backs of the legs, or a couple of cushions. It's quite nice. So those who've got their legs up the wall, they don't need the bits underneath the body because the back of their pelvis is already supported against the floor. But for those of us who are lying on the floor, if we lie flat, the back of the body maintains a natural curve in the low back, which is away from the floor. So this gives us the opportunity to soften that, particularly after all of our back bending, chest opening work. And it's a really nice way to relax the body and to gently counterpose the effort that we've made today. So coming into the relaxation posture of your choice with the support that you would like. If you're lying on the floor, feet are wide with the toes falling outwards, arms are wide away from the body with the palms turned upwards, if possible. And if this feels dreadfully uncomfortable for your shoulders, then bending the elbows and placing the hands onto the abdomen. But if you can, it's always preferable to have the arms wide with the palms turned upwards. Take a few moments just to wiggle yourself, get rid of your fidgeting. Here it's very useful to press the low back down into the mat, press the backs of the arms down, the backs of the hands, the heels of the feet, the backs of the legs, the backs of the head. Hold everything towards the floor for a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and then let go of that downward pressure. Screw all the muscles of the face in towards the nose, make a tight lemon sucking face, and then eyes open, mouth open, tongue as far out as you can, and exhale. And relax. We'll do that one more time. Screwing all the muscles of the face in towards the nose, then eyes open, mouth open, tongue out, exhale. Closing the eyes and gently rolling the head one side and then the other. Waving the nose more than anything else. Coming back to center when you're ready. Make any adjustments. And then bringing your body to stillness. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften and spread. Allow the eyes to be gently closed and the area around the eyes to soften. The jaw, the tongue, the throat, releasing and relaxing. Allow the whole of the back of the body to be heavy, warm, supported, and releasing down. Allow the front of the body to feel spacious, becoming aware of that space over you and around you. Feeling the touch of air on your face. The sense of space between the feet, between the arms and the body. The sensation of space in the palms of the hands. Gently deepening your breath. Focus on breathing in the light, vitality, harmony, and exhaling tension, fatigue, discomfort. Breathing in energy, healing, peace. Breathing out tension, fatigue, discomfort. Allow your breath to fall in this rhythm whenever you're aware of it, relaxing a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet, wiggling your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and your ankles. When you feel ready, you can take a long, deep breath and stretch. Stretch through the body. If you've had your legs up the wall, bending your knees into your chest. And then the rest of us can gather our knees into our chests as well. Gently rolling or rocking or moving in a way that feels good for your back, for your spine. And in your own time, rolling onto your side, taking a moment as you come around, just do it gently, slowly, containing that sense of peace and stillness within. In your own time, coming into any comfortable seated position, bringing your hands and placing them over the center of the chest. And trying to remember the seed that you planted in your heart at the beginning of the practice. A seed of transformation, of growth, of becoming. And then when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Namaste, guys. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Well done for those who did it live, because it was pretty full on. You don't get to pause the video when it's live. And I'll see you again next time.